10 behaviors of victims of mental abuse by narcissists. Hearing from others who have survived the onslaught of mental abuse from a narcissist can provide you insight into how to handle your own circumstance. Such conduct could harm your prospects of achieving love and emotional fulfillment. A person's conduct may shift for any number of reasons. Emotional highs and lows are a reflection of people's behavior. However, one's behavior may be improved upon in the same way that any other part of one's life can be. Changes in conduct are the most obvious and deleterious consequence of psychological stress. In this video, I discuss some of the signs that victims of narcissistic abuse may exhibit. Number 1. Depression and anxiety. Do you know someone who just never seems to get over their constant worry and sadness? How much time and effort did you spend into checking in on them to make sure everything was all right? In other words, what appears to be the issue? It's possible the narcissist is mentally abusing this person. Being the focus of relentless criticism wears one down. This isn't as fast as the recovery time for a bruise that has been treated with cold packs. Abuse on the mental plane creates deep, permanent wounds. Verbal abuse, which can be subtle but devastating, usually occurs when the offender is someone the victim often interacts with or cannot avoid. If you expect to be abused in the future, you can't expect to feel upbeat and happy. Not anything close to that has happened as of yet. To put it more accurately, it makes individuals feel so hopeless and helpless that death by suicide becomes an attractive alternative. What will happen next is a mystery. Seek medical attention if this occurs. 2. Obedient issue. When one's actions are in line with what other people want or expect, compliance means doing no more than is strictly necessary. Obedience is a state of mind in which one always chooses to comply with a command, even though doing so would be contrary to one's values or principles. Compromising means agreeing to do something you'd rather avoid. Those who have been the recipients of mental abuse typically respond by becoming exceedingly stubborn in order to forestall any further harm. They may also place a high emphasis on their relationships with the abuser and or others. 3. Extreme self-doubt and an inability to trust one's own judgment. Anyone who has experienced mental abuse firsthand can attest to the destructive consequences it may have. Because of this, the victim feels humiliated. They appear weak and defenseless in this depiction. Many people who have experienced trauma don't talk about it for fear of ridicule or isolation. That's hardly the impression anyone wants to make, of course. Despite their greatest attempts, victims are consistently shown as helpless and vulnerable. As a form of psychological warfare, abusers often remind their victims of who they are. Hearing such nasty comments on a regular basis will cause serious psychological harm. The damage to trust caused by this will be significant. 4. They are emotionally unstable and unable to regulate their behavior. The human brain is the body's control center. It exerts total control over the person. The first step, before doing anything, is to do this. It receives information, analyzes it, and then determines what to do next. The victim's ability to keep their faculties under control erodes as a result of mental abuse, and the body's many systems revolt as a result. The affected person can no longer regulate their own feelings, wants, and urges. Without serious repercussions, moderation is a necessity that cannot be ignored. It causes people to say and do things they would later come to regret. 5. Irrationality, the propensity to act or react without sufficient reason. Displaying extreme displays of emotion, such as hysteria or oversensitivity. Victims of psychopaths lose the ability to reason. Their victims are taught erroneous ideas that aren't always damaging or biased. According to this view, victims are completely expendable. Because of this, the victims end up thinking and acting in ways that aren't correct. When you are falsely accused of or judged negatively for something you did not do or did not have, it is normal to feel intimidated. Number 6. Gloom and despondency. Is there someone in your life who just never seems to have a good attitude? Is there such a thing as a person who doesn't care about anything other than staying alive? Someone who is so worried about himself and the world that they are almost at the brink of despair. A person who has suffered mental abuse may lose faith in oneself and their ability to cope with future challenges. A pessimist views the past, the present, and the future with pessimism. They anticipate the worst and are less optimistic. Negativity toward the future is thought to be intentional. Defeat is one outcome of mental maltreatment. Depression is the only appropriate emotional response to this kind of debasement. Having lost faith in yourself, you may begin to feel unworthy of happiness, taking every precaution possible to protect yourself from harm. 7. Unproductiveness. A victim of mental abuse will eventually lose interest in even the things they once enjoyed. Despite having access to every available tool, they continue to make little progress. They know what must be done, and they know they have the ability to accomplish it, but they don't want to do it. They have learned to always expect the worst because of the treatment they receive from narcissists. So, a negative view on life, especially if you believe that no one values your efforts, is toxic to your pursuit of meaningful accomplishment. Number 8. They lose all sense of responsibility and safety. In psychology, recklessness is defined as a flagrant disregard for one's own or other people's safety. Victims of mental abuse are more prone to making rash choices under pressure, which can lead to a destructive cycle of codependence with their abuser. Reason for this is that abusers frequently place their victims in stressful environments, both physically and mentally. Taking matters into one's own hands almost always results in a worsening of the situation, creating a catch-22. They will become careless or unable to make good decisions as a result of the emotional and psychological torment they have undergone. 9. Resentful. Negative words or thoughts thrown at you with malice are upsetting. It is understandable for the abused to feel resentment toward their abuser after witnessing or experiencing their harsh actions. When abused people think back on the terrible things that happened to them, they often become filled with resentment and a need for revenge. Especially for narcissists who appear empathetic, the time will come to demand retribution, exact vengeance, and justify one's horrific experience. If you've been on the receiving end of a narcissist's demands for special treatment, you've probably had enough. Because of this, you're set on bringing them to their knees and stripping them of any power. Unintentionally, victims vent their frustrations on those around them rather on the narcissist, who they know will not change their behavior. 10. Unsettled. Those who have suffered emotional abuse at the hands of a narcissist are notoriously difficult to empathize with. They behave properly because they are afraid of the narcissists. Unsettling characteristics, such as showing signs of tension or restlessness. Victims have trouble remaining seated. People are too distracted to do anything for very long. Anxiety or stress about something that isn't a real threat may be the cause of their fidgeting. Nail biting, foot tapping, and tapping fingers on a tabletop are all practices that can help people with anxiety. You or someone you know may have had or be experiencing narcissistic mental abuse. Most people who escape emotional or psychological abuse report altering their behavior as a result. Victims' recovery may be aided by their capacity to make the aforementioned behavioral changes. If you want excellent results, consulting an expert is a good idea. If you got something out of this video, like and subscribe. If you find this information to be true, I encourage you to watch my other films regarding narcissists, exposing how the narcissists manipulate their way to build their self-perceptions and reputation. Welcome to another episode of the Narcissist Exposed channel, where you will learn everything there is to know about narcissists. Today's topic is how narcissists use others to alter their perception of themselves. First of all, please join me in welcoming everyone. I'd like to thank you for visiting this channel and subscribing. And if you're new to this channel, I guarantee you that there is no better time than now to subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell button so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. Thank you very much. Now let's talk about how and why narcissists desire a different perception of themselves to begin with. Their desire to be liked by the majority of others will become evident to you the closer you're to them. Consequently, narcissists always believe they're sensitive and kind individuals who are usually misunderstood or exploited. They are incapable of comprehending why they are continuously harmed, why they believe they are always the victim. Narcissists make narratives about themselves to escape humiliation. There is considerable self-justification in their conduct, or so they thought. By assuming the persona that others have come to admire and respect, they attempt to live up to the reputation they have cultivated. As more people buy into their false image of grandeur, narcissists will become more delusional, because the majority of people are happier and love them more than the minority who have seen through their masks. Those few who have recognized narcissists for what they are will drown out or disregard the narcissists' voices. But this is irrelevant because they can just look the other way where people are welcoming them. And because of this, narcissists are able to defend themselves and cast the finger of blame on people who criticize them. When it comes to their actions, narcissists refuse to accept any form of blame and accept no responsibility for their actions. The fact that they have more people on their side, however, motivates them to continue lying. Regarding covert narcissists, their stats are everything. How others perceive them is how they live their life. They require the assistance of these auxiliary forces to thrive. The more others believe and applaud the narcissist's fabricated identity, the more powerful they feel. So, narcissists can go through life continuously blaming others for their failures, breakups, and other unfortunate events. They utilize amnesia as a pretense to forget their own errors and remember only the wrongs done to them by others. They don't know why the other person did what they did, but they believe they did not deserve it, and that the other person was impolite and nasty. The religious narcissist believes that God has a special affinity for them. Most of the time, they are quick to discuss how God is assisting and blessing them. Many narcissists are successful in this world, indeed. However, they are mistaken about the cause of their success. Nevertheless, they're confident that they are on the right track. As a result, they continued to live the worst lives possible and pretended to be virtuous when they attended church. Even when they were at home, they would smile, be polite, and be willing to help people for nothing more than to return home and be prepared to face anyone who comes their way. What narcissists do in private has no bearing on who they are. Thus, they see no danger in engaging in such behavior. It is only the views of others that matter. The narcissist's ego expands as a result of what others think of them, which is why they are so self-centered. Their objective is to convince people that their manufactured character is their own. It is crucial to them that others perceive them as kind, helpful, and trustworthy. They gain a better feeling of self-worth as a result, and it makes them feel better regardless of whether they are. Narcissistic individuals feel that their falsehoods and manipulations are required to safeguard their fragile, created self, which assists them in achieving success and sustaining relationships. To make matters worse, they believe themselves that their behavior is shared by others. Everyone attempts to obtain their desires by hiding behind a mask. Whoever is the best at what they do is the only factor that matters. Narcissists tell themselves lies in order to cope with life's hardships. The belief that everyone else is identical to them makes them feel as though they do not need to change. Moreover, narcissists devote their entire life to avoiding embarrassment. Therefore, the false version of themselves that they offer must be one with which they are satisfied. Despite their efforts, they will never be able to conceal the great embarrassment and anguish they are attempting to conceal. Narcissists spend their entire lives attempting to create a pristine image of themselves, while their genuine, hideous selves and evil desires remain concealed and are only revealed to those who come too close. The desire to be viewed in the best possible light is natural and understandable, but narcissists are not real people. They are only concerned with themselves and stealing from others. They are not worthy of your trust, let alone your affection. They cannot face the truth about who they are because they prefer to live a lie, despite their best efforts. And they would go out of their way to smear anyone who disagreed with them. This concludes the current video. Please share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. And if you want to be notified whenever I upload a new video, please subscribe and activate the bell icon below. Thank you. What are the narcissists' true feelings about themselves? Hi everyone. The Narcissist Exposed channel is here with another episode to help you learn everything you need to know about narcissists. So let's get started. Our focus today is on narcissistic behavior and what they truly think about themselves. First thing first, I'd like to thank you for visiting and subscribing to this channel. I'd like to express my gratitude. If this is your first time here, I assure you there's no better moment than now for you to subscribe. And if you do so, don't forget to also click the bell button so you'll be alerted whenever I post new content. Thank you so much for your attention. People that are narcissistic are usually envious and self-centered, but they attempt to conceal these traits by displaying modesty and relentlessly pursuing achievement. There is nothing they can't do to accomplish their objectives. They have a tremendous drive to obtain all of their desires. They are really enthusiastic about acquiring stuff that will make them appear superior and more amazing to others. Not only are narcissists envious individuals, but they also have a strong desire to be envied. If you admire them as a person, they hope you would also hold them in high regard. For you to have more than they do is unacceptable to them, since they don't want you to be more successful than they are. If you desire to be on par with them, you will injure yourself. You probably don't need that much knowledge about narcissists. All you need to know is that when another person is more successful than they are, you'll probably spot a narcissist around that person. Because narcissists are so envious, they will not be able to shake this thought for a while. There is no such thing as satisfaction for narcissists. No matter how much wealth and power they pretend to have, they are never satisfied. How far does this discontent reach? Now that I have everything I need to begin, this is precisely what I plan to discuss today. Now, let's examine one of the narcissists' discontent, which they carry with them throughout their entire lives. Discontentment is a dissatisfaction with one's living conditions or life circumstances. Due to their preoccupation with themselves, narcissists are incapable of achieving happiness in any aspect of their lives. They have numerous problems with their personal lives and relationships. This encompasses spiritual and romantic connections. Therefore, even having lovely children and a devoted husband, narcissists are not even remotely content with these things. In their private lives, they will be disloyal to their spouses and children and abusive to everyone else in their households. The narcissist delights in discovering flaws where none exist. In order to justify their acts, they will be driven to separate themselves from their families. For their own entertainment, they would take advantage of others, propagate rumors, and create chaos. If things are going well for others, they are dissatisfied. Narcissists crave unpredictability and drama in their lives. There is no still water in their daily existence. Since narcissists don't value people, take others for granted, and constantly seek new sources of supply, they quickly become bored with all of their relationships. At some point, all narcissists will view the absence of drama as a deficiency of fuel. It is also possible that they are unhappy with their work or other aspects of their careers, because they have lost interest in both their personal relationships and their professional accomplishments. Consequently, the narcissist will quickly grow dissatisfied and resentful of their existing situation after obtaining the so-called ideal job. As soon as they join, they begin seeking for other methods to benefit further. The narcissist never enjoys a long-lasting sense of contentment. It makes no difference how many degrees they hold or how much money they earn. They are always seeking more. They would continue to feel as though they are missing out on something and should have either more money or greater privileges. As a result, narcissists are notorious for regularly switching occupations and careers. There is a possibility that they will be fired for allegedly attempting to defraud or exploit the organization. If they believe they can get away with it, they will use dishonest means to steal jobs or wages from the company. They believe that narcissists can maintain their jobs for a longer period of time as long as they can successfully abuse their influence within the company. However, even if this is the case, they will experience boredom and restlessness until they obtain what they desire. In conclusion, narcissists are never satisfied with their own achievements. Their identity and character have been fabricated to such an extent. In order to appear good to others, they conceal their flaws and tolerate everything that they are not. In addition, they mimic the personalities, clothes, and other aspects of other people's lives. The narcissist's self-portrait is wholly fictitious. Those individuals are among the most deceptive you'll ever encounter. They care nothing else but themselves. They are unsatisfied with themselves and are always seeking something superior. This causes them to despise not only the people in their area, but also everything else. They put on a false grin and have a great deal of material to conceal their discontent with others at life. Due to their unhappiness and dissatisfaction, their mood shifts from gloomy to irritable, even in public. The inability of narcissists to realize that success, financial security, and solid interpersonal relationships are not necessarily correlated with happiness. A selfish, greedy, and envious individual can't experience happiness or contentment in life. This implies that narcissists can't find satisfaction in anything or anybody, including themselves. The narcissist is dissatisfied with every aspect of their life. Without recognizing it, they will always have to deal with this particular weakness. To prevent them from blaming us for their misery and bringing their negativity into our life, we must avoid them. It is the best recommendation I can make. Today, there is nothing else to say. I hope you find this video to be helpful. Please don't hesitate to share your thoughts and experiences in the comment section below. I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and enable the notification bell to avoid missing future videos. Sincere gratitude. Thanks. Exposing what the narcissist will do to win you back. Welcome to another episode in which we will discuss every aspect of narcissists. In today's video, I discuss how a narcissist would attempt to win you back despite all their transgressions. However, because they are so skilled at manipulating emotions and situations, escaping may not be as simple as you believe. Please join me in welcoming everyone. Thank you very much for visiting my channel and subscribing. If you're new to this channel, I guarantee you that there is no better time than now to subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell button so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. If there is one thing we have learned about narcissists, it is that they can't be avoided. There are always one or two individuals who enter your life. How you observe them is the only thing that matters. There is a possibility that you will not recognize them until you watch this video or other similar videos on narcissists. And if you've ever had a previous narcissist in your life who attempts to re-enter it by whatever means necessary, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Those who have been revealed or unmasked believe they can still make a comeback and be welcomed back with open arms if they play their cards effectively. Today, we will examine the narcissist's reasons for re-entering our lives, as well as the techniques and games they use to do so. If we invite them back into our life, I will demonstrate some of their ways. Because there would be no turning back if we established no contact or zero contact, in which the narcissist is unable to reach us or communicate with us in any way. I am certain that they would still attempt to defame you and turn everyone against you. However, it is not always possible to avoid interaction, especially when children are involved. Additionally, some individuals are uneasy with zero touch for no apparent reason. Zero contact is not always a viable strategy, regardless of the circumstances. Nevertheless, the narcissist is always an active and present threat. People frequently attempt to avoid narcissists by creating clear boundaries in situations where no contact is virtually impossible. If they can reach you, narcissists will attempt to get back together with you as soon as possible. What do they seek, however? Why would a narcissist want to reunite with you? As a matter of practicality, and to keep the video brief, there are only two things to remember. As a first step, you have a product of interest to them. As long as you continue to possess whatever they desire, a narcissist will strive to re-enter your life. The second most common reason is because they want to finish what they started, which is the destruction of your life. They are attempting to set you up for a difficult fall. If you've gotten rid of them in the past, or if they've gotten rid of you in the past, and you're now standing on your own, they'll try to bring you down again. Narcissists are renowned for their perseverance in obtaining what they desire from others. They are aware that it will require some effort on their part to overcome the obstacles you have created. Given that they will employ these strategies, you will need to be prepared for them. They will do everything possible to make us pity them. The narcissist is aware that if their problems are so dire that you feel pity for them, you may give them a second chance. To make you feel pity for them, narcissists will fabricate or concoct up stories about their tragedy. They usually utilize the excuse of illness. They would lie or pretend to be ill to convince you that they were on their deathbed. In addition, the narcissist may utilize the death of a family member to play with your emotions. They would portray themselves as being distraught by the failure. A funeral would be a scene of pranks, with children doing whatever to attract attention. Vulnerability is crucial because it makes the narcissist appear weak, helpless, and harmless. The narcissist enjoys performing the nice card con. They would sneak up on you while pretending to be humble and eager to help. Additionally, they will go out of their way to make you grin. So far as you can tell, they are always delighted to see you. The narcissist is essentially attempting to win you over and persuade you that they are no longer a threat. If the resource they wish to recover is a primary source, they can continue doing so for as long as necessary. They can also maintain the "I've changed" act for a time. There is nothing selfish in asserting or promising to change. They will go to great lengths to demonstrate their newly acquired maturity to those who require proof. They would go to great lengths to persuade you that they have changed or are in the process of changing. Although I'm not suggesting that narcissists can't try to better themselves, many of them fail. The sooner you return them when things begin to improve, the greater the likelihood that they and you will be disappointed. As soon as the narcissist feels secure and has your love again, this old monster will rear its ugly head. As I have frequently stated in my videos, suffering and self-sacrifice are what have shaped narcissists into who they are today. In addition to being a mental issue, the problem also has spiritual dimensions. You are left with a narcissist who has become more adept at manipulating you and making you feel insane. In other words, allow the narcissist to attempt to change, but do not attempt it yourself. These are the three most prevalent ways narcissists attempt to re-enter your life. Playing the weak or the victim, charming you with fake pleasantness, or convincing you that they have changed. A narcissist cannot let go of any source of supply, especially if they are not yet finished with you, because they believe it is up to them to determine if they want you around or not. Therefore, they are exerting every effort to regain your trust by delivering their absolute best performance. Moreover, narcissists rarely view second chances as an opportunity to make atonement for their past sins. They view it as an opportunity to finish what they have begun. Therefore, there will be no happy ending. Consequently, keep these limitations in mind and be cautious. Additionally, if you believe the narcissist is negatively impacting your mental and physical health, the best course of action is to retreat, regain composure, and then try again. As usual, I hope this information was of some use to you. It would be greatly appreciated if you could like and share it in any way possible. Don't forget to subscribe if this is your first visit on this channel. Have a fantastic